Have you ever felt that no matter how hard you try to evolve spiritually, something always seems to pull you down? As if an invisible force is draining your energy, clouding your mind, and preventing you from seeing the truth? What if I told you that this is not by chance? That there is a carefully designed system to manipulate your energy, distort your perception, and keep you trapped in an endless cycle of fear and limitation? What you will discover in this video may be uncomfortable, but once you see the truth, there is no turning back. Helena Blavatsky, one of the greatest occultists in history, spent her life exposing the secrets that they hide about the true nature of reality. She revealed that humanity does not live in the world as it truly is, but rather in a carefully constructed illusion designed to limit our potential and imprison our consciousness. They know exactly how human energy works. They know that everything in the universe vibrates at specific frequencies and that our thoughts, emotions, and intentions create waves that shape our reality. And that is why they have done everything to ensure that you never discover how your own energy can be used against you. From the moment you were born, your mind was programmed to accept this prison as something natural. Fear, guilt, constant distraction, dependence on a system that drains your time and vitality. All of this is part of a plan to keep you disconnected from your essence. Have you ever wondered why so many ancient spiritual practices have been ridiculed or erased from history? Or why those who dare to challenge this structure are always silenced? The truth is that there is much more going on than we are told. And in this video, we will expose exactly how this energy manipulation happens, who is behind it, and more importantly, how you can reclaim your power. Because once you understand how they play this game, you can finally step out of it. Get ready, because after this, you will never see the world the same way again. Welcome to Occultum Veritas. To understand the level of energetic manipulation that governs the world, we need to delve into the discoveries of Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, one of the brightest and most controversial minds in modern occultism. Unlike the image that they want you to have of figures like her, that she was merely an eccentric mystic, Blavatsky was a tireless investigator of hidden truth, someone who traveled to various parts of the world to access knowledge that had been deliberately buried. Born in 1831 in Russia, Blavatsky never fit the standards of her time. From a young age, she demonstrated an impressive intuitive ability and a deep interest in the unknown. While others conformed to the beliefs imposed by religious dogma and materialism, she asked questions that no one dared to ask. Her journey led her to study with spiritual masters in India, Tibet, and Egypt, where she was initiated into esoteric traditions that date back millennia. It was in these traditions that Blavatsky found the key to understanding how they manipulate our energy. She discovered that the visible world is only a small fraction of reality and that invisible forces operate behind the scenes, controlling humanity through vibration and consciousness. According to her studies, everything in the universe is governed by immutable spiritual laws, but the hidden elite works to distort and conceal this knowledge. The goal? To keep you trapped in a limited version of existence, where your energy can be drained and redirected to serve their interests. Blavatsky's most impactful work, The Secret Doctrine, revealed truths that are still considered dangerous for those who control the world. She explained that humanity is not at the top of the cosmic hierarchy, but rather in a state of forgetfulness, disconnected from its true potential. And this forgetfulness did not happen by chance. It was induced. She spoke of the Lords of Darkness, a force that acts behind the scenes of reality, manipulating events, governments, and even science ensuring that humanity remains blind to its own divine nature. These entities, according to Blavatsky, feed off our energy and do so by creating a system that keeps us constantly exhausted, distracted, and imprisoned by fear. Since ancient times, the hidden elite understood that controlling the flow of human energy was the key to perpetuating their position of power. Blavatsky revealed that secret societies and occult orders have held this knowledge for centuries, using it not to liberate humanity, but to enslave it. The use of symbols, rituals, and manipulation of the collective consciousness is part of a much larger scheme to ensure that you remain vibrating at the frequency they desire. But how exactly does this happen? How do they control your energy without you realizing it? In the next segment, we will unravel the methods used to drain your life force and ensure that you never discover the immense power you possess. Everything in the universe is energy. What you think, feel, and even what you believe to be solid, everything is a vibration at different frequencies. But here's the truth that they don't want you to discover. Your energy is manipulated all the time, subtly and invisibly, to keep you trapped in a state of low vibration. Helena Blavatsky warned that humanity is immersed in an illusory matrix where our own vital energy is drained without us realizing it. And how does this happen? Through frequencies. Everything you consume, from information and entertainment to the food you eat and the emotions you feel daily, influences your vibration. The system is designed to ensure that most people remain operating in dense, energetic states, which are easily drained. Blavatsky described how the hidden elite uses archetypes, symbols, and rituals to influence the human mind and divert its energy flow for purposes that benefit only those in control. It is no coincidence that esoteric symbols are present in large corporations, in the media, in politics, and even in religions. They act as portals to direct collective energy. But the most insidious aspect of this manipulation is how they condition you to generate negative energy on your own. Every time you feel fear, hatred, anxiety, or guilt, you are vibrating at frequencies that are harnessed by these forces. The truth is that they don't need to force anything. They just need to create a system that induces you into the right mental and emotional state, so that you become the source of energetic feeding yourself. This explains why so many social and cultural structures are based on fear and scarcity. From childhood, you are taught to believe that you have no control over your own reality, that you need external approval, and that life is a constant struggle. Blavatsky saw this as a deliberate plan to spiritually weaken humanity and prevent people from awakening to their true power. The hidden elite understands that a human being vibrating at high frequencies, such as love, elevated consciousness, and spiritual sovereignty, cannot be controlled. Therefore, everything is designed to keep you trapped in distractions, conflicts, and false narratives that drain your energy. But how exactly do they do this? And what is the main weapon used against you? In the next segment, we will reveal the most powerful tool that they use to imprison your energy and ensure that you never realize what is happening. Fear is not just an emotion. It is a tool of control. Since time immemorial, those who understand the hidden principles of reality have known that human energy can be manipulated through fear. And this manipulation does not happen openly and explicitly. On the contrary, it is subtle, almost imperceptible, but omnipresent. Helena Blavatsky warned about this in her studies, stating that humanity lives under a constant state of vibrational imprisonment, a prison that has no physical bars, but is even more powerful because it acts directly on the mind and soul. To understand how this works, you first need to grasp a fundamental truth. Your vibrational state determines the reality you experience. Fear is a dense frequency that reduces your ability to see beyond the obvious and blocks your connection to elevated states of consciousness. And that is exactly why they ensure that you are always vibrating at this frequency. The media, politics, conventional religions, the economic system, everything has been designed to ensure that your perception of reality is rooted in fear. Look at the news. A daily bombardment of tragedies, violence, crises, and invisible threats that keep your mind on high alert. But here's the part no one tells you. Fear not only paralyzes, it also drains your vital energy. Blavatsky described this process as a system of energy vampirism. She believed that certain forces, both human and non-human, feed off the energy generated by negative human emotions. And the more intense these emotions, the greater the energy drain. Wars, pandemics, financial collapses. Do you really think all of this happens by chance? Or could it be that each of these events serves to feed something much larger than we imagine? Fear is a weapon because it creates a mental state that weakens your ability to manifest your own reality. A terrified mind does not think creatively, does not question, does not seek the truth. On the contrary, it obeys, it follows orders, it conforms. Fear keeps you in a position of submission, accepting any imposition from the system because deep down you have been conditioned to believe that the only alternative would be something worse. And here is the true masterstroke of this manipulation. Fear is addictive. Just like a drug, it traps the mind in endless cycles of worry, anticipation of danger, and feelings of helplessness. The system knows this, and that is why it never offers real solutions. It only keeps the wheel turning, ensuring that you always have something to fear. If one problem disappears, another soon arises to take its place. Have you noticed how there is never a prolonged period of peace and stability? There is always a new threat, a new reason to worry, to keep humanity trapped in this frequency. But what makes this manipulation even more insidious is that it begins the moment you are born. Children are taught to fear from an early age, to fear parental punishment, divine retribution, poverty, failure, and the judgment of others. School reinforces this, teaching blind obedience instead of critical thinking. Traditional religions amplify the cycle, using guilt and sin to condition the masses to believe they are inherently unworthy. And so, throughout life, fear becomes so present that most people do not even realize they are being manipulated. But here is the secret that they do not want you to discover. Fear only has power over you if you give it permission. When you start to question, to step out of the frequency of fear and elevate your vibration to higher states, the control unravels. This is the true spiritual awakening. It is not just about intellectual knowledge, but about a profound vibrational shift where you finally see reality as it is and not as they want you to see it. And now comes the crucial question. If fear is the number one tool to manipulate your energy, how can you free yourself from it? In the next segment, we will expose the strategies used to maintain this illusion and, more importantly, how you can deactivate them and reclaim your power. The biggest trick that they ever pulled was convincing you that reality is exactly as they taught you. Education, media, conventional science, traditional religions, all these structures were built to shape your perception of what is real and, more importantly, what is possible. But here's what Helena Blavatsky revealed. The world you perceive is not true reality, but rather a carefully manufactured illusion designed to limit your consciousness and trap your energy. Since you were born, your mind has been conditioned to accept certain dogmas and reject anything that goes beyond the dominant narrative. Have you noticed how anyone who questions the system or presents a different view of the world is ridiculed, silenced, or even destroyed? This doesn't happen by chance. Reality has been programmed so that only a limited version of existence is accepted as absolute truth. The matrix of illusion, how your perception is manipulated. Blavatsky claimed that the universe is composed of multiple layers of existence, some visible, others hidden from our common senses. However, humanity has been trained to perceive only the most superficial layer of reality, the one that can be measured, quantified, and controlled. This conditioning starts early. Materialist science teaches that consciousness is merely a byproduct of the brain, denying any possibility of existence beyond matter. The media pushes narratives that reinforce this limited view, making you believe that the only thing that matters is survival, consumption, and competition. Institutionalized religions, which should serve to connect humans to the divine, have been corrupted to turn spirituality into fear, guilt, and submission. The result? An entire humanity living in a collective trance, accepting the illusion as reality and completely ignoring the true potential of consciousness. But this goes beyond simple manipulation of information. According to Blavatsky, there is a vibrational system implanted in the structure of society designed to keep the masses at a low frequency. This means that even the emotions you feel, the thoughts you have, and the desires that are instilled in you are part of a mind control program. The hidden elite understands the hermetic principles of vibration and energy, and they use them against you. They know that if your mind is focused on fear, anxiety, hatred, or lack, your energy becomes fragmented and dispersed, easy to manipulate. But if you are in a state of elevated consciousness, with mastery over your own vibration, you become immune to the system. Subliminal programming, how you are kept in a prison without bars. One of the most effective methods of mind control that they use is subliminal programming. This happens on various levels. In media and entertainment, movies, music, series, and even children's cartoons are loaded with hidden symbols, subliminal messages, and archetypes that shape your perception without you realizing it. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. Many Hollywood productions are filled with esoteric symbolism that has been used by secret societies for centuries. The goal: to desensitize you to certain concepts, normalize destructive patterns, and implant specific ideas into the collective unconscious. In the educational system, school was not created to teach you to think. It was created to teach you to obey. The modern educational system is based on the Prussian model, which aimed to produce docile citizens and efficient workers, not free thinkers. Creativity, spirituality, critical thinking, all of this has been systematically removed from education to ensure that you learn only what is necessary to be a good worker in the system. In consumption and lifestyle, the consumer society was designed to keep you perpetually dissatisfied. You are bombarded with advertisements telling you that you need to buy more, consume more, desire more. But have you ever wondered why? Simple. Because a dissatisfied human is easy to manipulate. If you are always seeking something external to fill an internal void, you will never look within yourself and discover your true power. Blavatsky spoke of this cycle of distraction as a modern form of slavery. In her time, it was done more subtly, but today, with technology and digital interconnectedness, mind control has reached unprecedented levels. You carry a device in your pocket that monitors everything you do, think, and desire. Social media has been designed to manipulate your mental state, creating cycles of emotional dependency, anxiety, and the need for external validation. Now ask yourself, how many thoughts you have daily are truly yours? How many beliefs you carry were implanted in you since childhood? The role of frequencies and sound in manipulating consciousness. Another aspect of this manipulation that few perceive is the use of frequencies and sound vibrations to influence human consciousness. Blavatsky believed that sound and frequency were essential tools for expanding or limiting the perception of reality. Many ancient spiritual traditions used mantras, chants, and specific sounds to alter states of consciousness and access higher dimensions of the mind. However, this same technology has been distorted to be used against humanity. Here are some examples. The tuning of modern music. In the past, music was tuned to the frequency of 432 Hz, which is considered harmonious with the natural vibrations of the earth. However, in the 20th century, the standard tuning was changed to 440 Hz, a frequency that, according to studies, causes agitation and mental disharmony. Coincidence? Radio and television broadcasts, many TV shows and popular songs use binaural beats and sound patterns that induce states of hypnosis and submission. The effect of communication towers. Some theories suggest that certain communication towers and antennas were designed not only to transmit signals, but also to emit frequencies that influence the collective mental state. If this sounds exaggerated, remember that technologies like MK Ultra, a real CIA program, have already proven that mass mind manipulation is not only possible, but has been tested and applied. How you can break this cycle and reclaim your energy. The good news is that the control system only works as long as you remain unconscious of it. The moment you become aware of this manipulation, you begin to reclaim your power. Here are some ways to deactivate this programming and elevate your vibration. Disconnect from fear narratives. Whenever you notice you are being induced into panic, stop and question. Who benefits from this fear? What is the real goal of this narrative? Filter your influences. Choose carefully the content you consume. Avoid programs and media laden with negativity and emotional manipulation. Reprogram your mind with the right frequencies. Try listening to music and sounds at 432 Hz or 528 Hz, which are known to restore harmony to the body and mind. Take back control of your thoughts. Practice meditation and silence to slow down your mind and perceive which thoughts truly belong to you. Question everything. Do not accept anything as absolute truth, especially if it comes from sources that clearly work to reinforce the system. In the next segment, we will reveal one of the most hidden aspects of this manipulation: the use of sexual and spiritual energy as a tool for control and energy draining. If you think you've seen it all, prepare yourself. The truth is even deeper. Few people realize this, but sexual energy is not just a biological impulse. It is one of the most powerful forms of spiritual energy that a human being can generate. All ancient esoteric traditions, from alchemists to yogis, from Egyptian mystics to Tantra initiates, knew that sexual energy is a creative force that can be used to awaken consciousness, manifest realities, and connect with the divine. Now stop and think, why then has modern society turned sexuality into a hollow spectacle, a constant distraction, and often a tool of self-destruction? Helena Blavatsky warned that one of the greatest secrets they hide is that humans can transmute their sexual energy into spiritual power. But to ensure that no one discovers this, they created a system where this energy is deliberately wasted and perverted. The goal? To keep you weakened, disconnected, and vulnerable to manipulation. Sexual energy is the force of creation. It is not only responsible for reproduction, but also for vitality, creativity, and the awakening of consciousness. That is why, in various esoteric traditions, sexual energy was considered sacred. Kundalini Yoga, for example, teaches that this energy can be directed to rise up the spine, activating power centers within the body and expanding consciousness. The ancient Egyptians, Taoists, and Western alchemists practiced techniques of sexual transmutation, where the energy generated by desire was used to heal, elevate the mind, and even alter reality itself. However, this truth has been systematically hidden from humanity, and they knew exactly how to do it. How they distorted sexuality to control you. 1. Turning sex into a product today, sexual energy is sold as entertainment. Movies, advertising, social media, everything is saturated with images and messages that encourage the relentless pursuit of instant pleasure. But here's the trick. This pleasure is not true empowerment. It is energy draining. Blavatsky said that one of the most effective forms of control was through the corruption of creative energy. And what has happened in our society? Sex has become superficial, mechanical, and compulsive. A cycle of stimulation and exhaustion that causes people to lose their vitality without even realizing it. 2. Creating guilt and repression. On one hand, they promote an excess of superficial sexual stimuli, while on the other, there has always been a strong moral and repressive control over sexuality. Traditional religions have demonized pleasure, associating it with sin, error, and eternal damnation. This has created a state of internal conflict where many people repress their natural energy and transform it into fear, guilt, and shame. But why is this important for the system? Because a person who feels guilt or repression regarding their own sexual energy becomes energetically weak and vulnerable to control. 3. Manipulating sexual energy through media and entertainment. Have you noticed how the entertainment industries are increasingly loaded with sexual symbolism? Shows, music videos, advertisements, everything contains images and messages that stimulate desire, but in a distorted and fragmented way. This is not a coincidence. They know that if they can keep humanity trapped in a cycle of desire and frustration, they can divert and absorb that energy for hidden purposes. The theft of sexual energy. The truth few. Many do not realize, but sexual energy can be drained from you without you even touching another person. How does this happen? Through mental and vibrational direction. Blavatsky spoke of beings that exist beyond the visible spectrum of reality and feed on human, emotional energies. This idea is also shared by various spiritual traditions throughout history. These beings, called astral shells, energy parasites, or archons, feed on the energy released during intense emotional states, including fear, hatred, sadness, and yes, uncontrolled sexual desire. The system we live in is designed to ensure that people are constantly trapped in cycles of stimulation and exhaustion. Addiction to pornography, excessive sensory stimulation, and the culture of instant gratification are part of this draining process. As long as you are trapped in this cycle, your energy will never be yours. But there is a way out. How to recover your energy and break the cycle of sexual manipulation. If they have done everything to ensure you lose your energy, it means that this energy is extremely valuable. And the good news is that you can reclaim that power. Here are some ways to do this. 1. Practice sexual transmutation. Instead of wasting your energy, learn to direct it towards spiritual development. Techniques such as conscious breathing, yoga, and meditation help elevate this energy to higher states of consciousness. 2. Reprogram your beliefs about sexuality. The first step to freeing yourself from this control is to realize how it works. Start questioning the conditioning that has been implanted in you since childhood. What truly belongs to you and what has been imposed by the system? 3. Stop feeding the system. Reduce your exposure to content that destructively manipulates your sexual energy. Avoid pornography, empty entertainment, and any form of consumption that conditions your mind to unrestrained desire and dissatisfaction. 4. Use sexual energy to create and manifest. Instead of dispersing your energy, use it to create. Great geniuses in history, such as Nikola Tesla and Leonardo da Vinci, were known to practice retention and sublimation of sexual energy to expand their creativity and mental capabilities. It is no coincidence that many spiritual masters spoke about mastering sexual energy as a key to awakening. When this energy is used correctly, it activates power centers within the body and strengthens the connection to elevated states of consciousness. But for this, you first need to free yourself from the traps that have been placed in your path. Now that you know how your sexual energy has been manipulated, you can choose a different path. You can regain control, elevate your vibration, and access a level of power that they do not want you to discover. But this is just the beginning. In the next segment, we will explore the definitive tools to shield your energy against any form of manipulation and ensure that you are never again an easy target for the system. If you have made it this far, get ready. The next step is total liberation. How to reverse the game and reclaim your power. Now that you understand how your energy is manipulated, the essential question is how to escape this invisible prison. The system is designed to keep you distracted, drained, and vibrating at low states. But the truth is that their control only works as long as you remain unconscious of it. The moment you awaken to this reality and take ownership of your own energy, they lose power over you. Helena Blavatsky spoke about this. The key to liberation is not to fight against the system, but to transcend the frequency at which it operates. This means that the true exit is not an external rebellion, but an internal realignment. Awakening is not about destroying the prison. It's about realizing that it was never real for those who learn to see beyond it. So, how do you reverse this game and regain control of your energy? Here are the most powerful steps to free yourself from energetic manipulation and become the master of your own reality. 1. Control your energy field. Protection against spiritual vampirism. The first step to escaping their control is to strengthen your aura and seal your energy. Just as you lock the doors of your house to prevent intruders, you need to do the same with your energy. The hidden elite knows that humans who do not protect their energy are like open houses. Anyone can enter, feed off, and leave without the owner noticing. Here are some practices to protect your energy. Daily meditation. The silence of the mind prevents your energy from being drained by external distractions. Start with 10 minutes a day and expand as you feel the need. Energetic baths. Epsom salt, herbs like rosemary and lavender, and even seawater help cleanse your aura of external influences. Use of crystals. Stones like black tourmaline, obsidian, and amethyst help dissipate negative energies and create a protective shield around you. Cutting energetic ties. Whenever you feel emotionally drained after interacting with someone, visualize an energy thread connecting you to that person and mentally cut that thread. This prevents your energy from continuing to be drained. 2. Break the cycle of low frequencies. Replace fear with awareness. As we have seen, fear is the most used frequency to control your energy. The system does not need to force anyone to do anything. It simply creates events, narratives, and stimuli to ensure that you voluntarily choose to remain in fear. The solution? Stop playing the game. Whenever a fearful thought or emotion arises, pause and question, is this real or was it programmed into me? Reduce consumption of sensational news and fear-based narratives. Train your mind to replace fear with knowledge and neutral observation. Remember, they need you to believe in fear for it to have an effect. Without your attention, it loses power. 3. Disconnect from the collective illusion. Choose your reality. Have you noticed how most people live reacting to the same things, feeling the same emotions, and following the same cycles? This does not happen by chance. There is a collective resonance field that keeps people trapped in the same vibrations. To escape this manipulation field, you need to create your own narrative. Define what you believe in and what you no longer accept being influenced by. Avoid futile discussions. The polarization of opinions is a tool used to divide and drain energy. Don't fall into this trap. Consciously choose what you connect with. Movies, music, books, everything carries a vibration. If something makes you feel heavy, stop consuming it. Surround yourself with people who elevate your energy. The environment and the people around you directly influence your vibration. 4. Reprogram your mind and take command of your subconscious. The system hides one of the most powerful truths. Your subconscious creates your reality. It is a supercomputer that records and reproduces everything you believe. If your beliefs are programmed by them, your life will reflect that programming. Here's what you need to do to clear and reprogram your mind. Practice conscious affirmations. Affirm daily that you are free, sovereign, and in control of your energy. Rewrite limiting beliefs. Whenever a negative thought arises, I will never succeed, I am not good enough, replace it with a new thought. I create my own reality. I am powerful. Use visualization. Your brain does not distinguish imagination from reality. Imagine yourself vibrating in a high-energy state, and your vibrational field will begin to change. 5. Reclaim your creative power. The world is a reflection of your vibration. Blavatsky spoke about a powerful concept. The universe is not happening to you, it is responding to you. What you see around you is merely a reflection of the vibration you are emitting. If your energy is at a low vibration, the world around you will reflect chaos, scarcity, and suffering. If your energy is elevated, your reality will begin to reorganize according to that new state. To activate this process, follow these steps. Act as if you are already free. If you believe that the system has no power over you, it truly won't. Your perception is the key. Connect with elevated states of consciousness. Meditate, walk in nature, write your thoughts, and notice the hidden patterns in your daily life. Say no to what does not resonate with your truth. You do not have to accept anything that does not make sense to you. Reject imposed narratives. 6. Become a channel of high energy. True power lies in your vibrational state. Here is the final truth that they have hidden from you. You do not need to fight against the system. You just need to vibrate above it. The system operates at low frequencies: fear, scarcity, anger, competition. If you are vibrating at these frequencies, you are playing their game. But if you elevate your vibration to higher states, love, gratitude, expansion, the system becomes irrelevant. Helena Blavatsky taught that the awakened human is one who stops being a pawn and becomes a conscious creator of their reality. This does not mean escaping the world, but rather becoming impervious to any attempts at manipulation. If you put these practices into action, they will no longer have access to your energy. You will exit the game and become someone who cannot be controlled. And now the final question, what will you do with this knowledge? Now that you know how they manipulate your energy, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Most people, even when they discover the truth, remain stuck in the same habits, the same distractions, and the same cycle of fear and scarcity. And that is exactly what the system wants. But now, you have a choice. You can go back to autopilot, ignore all of this, and continue being drained by a system that never wanted your well-being. Or you can take ownership of your energy, cut the invisible ties, and finally, take control of your reality. And that is exactly why they fear those who awaken. Because when you realize that none of this can affect you without your consent, the game is over. You don't need to fight against anything, nor try to convince anyone. You just need to raise your vibration to a level where nothing they do has any effect on you. But for that, you need to go even deeper. And the next video is essential for that. If you really want to get out of this energy matrix, you need to watch it now.